It's Jay-Do here at the Cash Compound for another round of Ask Me Anything. This is our weekly hour where we spend some time with you going through your questions, thoughts, and concerns when it comes to the infinite banking concept, or as we like to call it, the save and spend system. Shout out to my people on YouTube. Do I have somebody out there? Why don't you YouTube me down there in the chat and let me know where you're coming from. I'd love to know. We're in the office, as we can see here, the HQ for the Cash Compound on the East Coast here in Greenville, South Carolina. And like I said, what we do here is we covered the topics you want to talk about. It is an Ask Me Anything hour, so I've been practicing the infinite banking concept for almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years. March 11th, I believe, is my anniversary date. And my first policy matures into its 9th year at that time. So you can ask me anything about my 9 policies, the 3 different companies that I've used, the 5 different we've been brokers for and with, alongside the journey that you have of cash flow code cracking. So let me know what those questions are. If my YouTube people are out there, I can check you in the chat here. We got Ryan in the studio doing our producing today, and he's monitoring that chat for me, letting me know what your questions, comments, concerns might be. If you love, like, or learn something from our experience together, subscribe to our channel and share this with a friend. Let them know that Thursdays, this is the place to be to learn how to save and spend your money at the exact same time. That's what we're doing here today. So fire away. I have got a great topic I'd like to walk and talk you through. And if you want to go down that path, we're going to talk about father figures. It's one of our subcategories and points, talking about having a legacy of building a banking system for the entire family. So I have 4 children, and we can talk about some of their policies out there. So let me know if you're out there on YouTube here. We have had maybe a little bit of a technical snafu. There was something weird about our pre-registration Zoom link. So I hope we've got our Zoom community joining us shortly. But if there's anybody on YouTube, I'll start talking to you now. Let me know. Okay, Ryan, is there anybody still there? We got 1 viewer. Okay, let us know if you're out there watching. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're driving. Be safe. Okay, but... yeah, that window, I can't see how many viewers. There's nothing in that window that shows me if there are viewers, is there? No, I can't see it. No, that would be the other thing? Okay. Yeah, and my right monitor is off, or my left monitor is off, so I don't see that screen just in case it's on the left monitor. It's just not powered up. Okay, if you don't speak now, forever hold your peace, at least for 168 hours, because we will be back next Thursday when Coach Rob is going to join me in studio, and we'll talk through everything. But I want to know if there's anybody out there. We've got several channels that we normally go live on, and we are live on our Zoom pre-registration. Make sure you go to thecashcompound.com. Events is that green button in the corner, and pre-register for this great opportunity. Each and every week, we're answering your questions. It's perfect for the beginner or the person who is trying to figure out this system. It's perfect for you. Secondarily, you can find us on TikTok at the Cash Compound or the Banking Bros. Instagram, we're out there too at the Banking Bros. Facebook page, we've got a private Facebook experience for folks who want to ask anything at any time and get answered by our community managers out there on the Infinite Banking page, Infinite Bankers page. Okay. Digga, 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 digga. Anybody, everybody, do, 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 do. Oh, okay. We got 1 concurrent viewer. All right. I'm not going to say much more unless someone on YouTube shouts out and lets us know they're there and they have questions, comments, and concerns. We got a couple things happening in the office today, and I will move on to better experiences for you if I don't hear back from you. Yes, we got something. Ryan, it is a little too low for me. If you can raise up that window. What's up, Mrs. Smith? What's up? Okay, when paying a loan back with interest, how much does the insurance company get? Great question. They get none of it is the answer. Okay, they charge you a little bit differently. Well, Mrs. Smith, tell me where you are. One-on-one, I can be really, really specific and helpful to you. I'm here. Great. We're glad you're here. Hopefully there's no time delay so I can ask a question and you can hit me back and you're safe and able to type. Do you already have a policy? The loan interest works differently in some places, and if you're with one of our preferred carriers like One America, because you've already started working with us, I'll tell you the specifics. Dallas, what's up in the building? Dallas, I spoke in Dallas this past year, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know if I am back in town or my brother might be there in coming months, but please stay tuned on our events page on our website about the next time we're in DFW. No, I'm in DFW in March. I'm at the Dallas Fort Worth. It's kind of like the Fort Worth RIA, the Real Estate Investors Association. I'm the main speaker on March 14th or something. So be looking for that. You have an application started. Great. So you're probably with our preferred carrier, One America. Okay, if you're doing it with us. Okay, so here's how it works. Okay. When you take a loan from One America specifically, they pre-charge you the interest. They pre-charge it. So if you have $1,000 loan you're taking and you ask them for all of it, and the loan interest is 5%, which is probably very close, they don't charge you a thing. They hold it from your loan that they give you. 5% of $1,000 is, of course, $50. So they'll send you $950 in my crude example. Okay. You understand so far? If they send you $950 because the loan was $1,000 that you could take, now you may have $10,000 in there, but you go to take $1,000, they send you $950 because they pre-charge you the interest, and that helps the policy not lapse. Just in case you got to an anniversary or and you didn't pay the loan interest, I know it's kind of probably over your head. Tell me if it's not. Your policy would lapse. So they pre-hold it so your policy won't lapse in the event your loan repayment doesn't show up on time. So they pre-charge you. And as you pay that loan back of $950, you might be paying yourself extra interest. You might be paying yourself 10% interest. You know what? I'm going to show you with the cups here in a second, just in case. But let me know if you're getting it. So what happens is you pay yourself back the $950, it'll recredit you back to $1,000 along the way as you pay back in whatever form and fashion you want to pay that back. Remember, it's an unrestricted loan, so you can pay it back or not. But when you do, if you pay back $950 and you go to log in, it'll say $1,000. Does that make sense? If you paid yourself any extra interest, the extra interest goes into cup 1. We took the loan from cup 2. We can't see it. Oh, no. Okay. Here's cup 1, the red cup, right? Cup 2, the green one. We take $950 from cup 2, the green one, cash value. As we pay it back in, it recredits back to $1,000 because they pre-held the interest. And if you paid yourself 10% interest charge, the extra interest you're paying yourself, not the $950, but the extra interest would go here. We finished off the loan, take out $950, put back $950. That's the loan. The interest you charge yourself goes here. And the interest is paid up additions. Additions, paid up. Your policy gets larger. The death benefit goes up. Cash value gets larger because it was paid up insurance and it was additions. That part is going to be liquid new cash. Does that make sense? Hopefully the visual helped. Mrs. Smith, let me know in the chat if that made sense. Hopefully I helped you. I'm not going to keep talking and keep going on until I know that you are satisfied with that answer. You can ask new questions, of course, but that may help you understand. Who's been your coach? Let me know that. I've got 5 policies with that particular company that pre-charges the interest. I think several of our companies actually do that, but I know that one does. And so by keeping the $50, that's the insurance company's money. Nope, it's still in your cup. It's a good question. It's a wrong question. This is your policy. The insurance company has money elsewhere. Okay, this is your policy, your premium. I don't know what it is. You can tell me, though. Such a small group. Tell me what your premium is. You're in the application. What'd you put in here? It's going to buy you death benefit. We don't know what that is, but they are figuring it out right now because you got an application in. So they're going to take your money and they're going to zoom, scan your body, ask how old you are, things like that. It's going to come up with a death benefit number. It'll be inside. Is coaching a fee? Is this not coaching? And isn't it free? No. Do you have a policy with us? You've already had coaching. You've got someone working with you so far. They're submitting your application and they have not charged you. Okay, so it's free. We did not charge you anything. You're going to give $500 to the insurance company. Okay, that's the smallest style policy we do. You're going to keep that $500 compounding, growing for you forever, right? The insurance company is going to take that $5,000 or $6,000 a year, and they're going to determine on paper, we'll see that shortly, how much insurance that buys on you. You're the body. Okay, sorry, I don't have any visuals, but you understand. 500, a lot more than 500, okay? Cash values, how much of this a lot more is going to be liquid? When you ask for this money, that's the whole point of doing banking, right? We can now save our money and spend theirs. Cash value is their money. It's the liquid now of their money because they owe you so much future gross benefit. You with me? Say yes anytime this makes sense, or say stop, new question, and I'll stop. Because I'm here for you. Free coaching. This is coaching. You've got coaching. Someone started you. This is all coaching. Glad you're here. If you ask them for money from here, they'll hold back. If you ask them for all of the money, they'll hold 5%. So you don't mess up your policy. It's still yours. If you surrendered the policy or canceled the policy, they'd give you all of it. But if you don't cancel, they're going to hold 5% and not charge you anything because they've just held it. It helps your policy not lapse just in case you miss payments or something later. Does that make sense? They hold it. If you take that $950, a number I made up, or $1,000 out of here, number I made up, I have no idea how much you're going to have here. I'm just making up that number. You pay it back, it's replenished. All 1,000. If you ask them for all 1,000, they'll send you $950. Still there. You got me? And if you decide to pay back your $950 with interest, the interest goes here, makes your policy bigger. Hopefully, me saying it again, maybe in a new style, helped you. Let me know if you got it. Okay, cool. Did I get to it? Do you have new questions? I may have spawned new questions, and that's cool. I'll answer them. Totally fine. That's what we're here for. So you can, one question leads to another question, leads to another question. We want you to be a very good infinite banker. Did you get the book? Do you have the book? Have you read the book? Have you listened to the book? I have audio book. There's way more times than I've read it. Okay. Remember, this will help you with the banking part. What you're seeing here, 3-cup setup, if you've seen me do that before, that is really product. Process is going to help you. You got to understand financing. And what I tried to do is say, well, if you borrow from here and put it back with interest, the interest goes here. That makes the product bigger. So you just have more money next time. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful. Anything else? You can ask me anything else. Like I said, I'm going to, no, congruent, I don't know if you're still out there or not. I'm seeing numbers jump around. over here. But glad you are here. Glad you are here. Join our Facebook group. Ryan, if you've got the link, maybe you need the link. If you're going to produce this stuff, Ryan, you're going to need like a cheat sheet of links that you can drop in that chat for us. Remind me of that when we are done here, sir. So I can say, boom, boom, boom. Here's the 20 different links that people may ask or need, and you can start to be ready for them and then drop them in that chat from time to time. Good stuff out there. All right, I'm going to wait 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to ask Ryan, if it says 0, do we think there's 0 people out there? I see 0. Whoa, you're then. What does coaching look like? Well, it looks kind of like this. Please help me understand why you don't think this is coaching. This is the second time you've said that. Okay, we're going to help you do this process, but let me introduce you to the main part of coaching. This isn't the main part, but whoever got you started, who was it? There's only about 4 or 5 names that you can tell me. If you don't know, say you don't know, and I'll rattle them off. I'll rattle them off anyway. Was it me? I'm J-Do. Was it Jonah, my brother? Rob? Jesse, probably one of those. Could have been Alyssa or Keith. That's your coach. The person who asked you all the questions on the phone, that person will continue to, oh, I missed it. My boss walked in. Oh, goodness. Robert is your coach. You may text Robert. You may call Robert. You may email Robert anytime. Whatever you ask him, that is now coaching. You're in a coaching relationship. It is free. Forever. We have got all sorts of tools like this, live events. We've got courses. We're moving our course library over to a new system, so you'll be seeing that in the second quarter, really popping. We've got all that for you. Some of that is premium because it's not really coaching, but that's education. Some of our education is premium. Some, like this right now, is freemium, but it's all coaching. Yes? No? Robert can always answer questions specifically for you. Robert is handling your case. Robert is your coach specifically, and you can always work with Robert for free by just texting that number back. I, right now, unfortunately, have notifications on all of Robert's conversations, and people text Robert all the time. Okay. Thank you. I've watched all your videos on YouTube. There's no way. Have you watched all of them? I thought only my mama had watched all of them. I'm excited for you, Mrs. Smith. I'm excited. This is the beginning of something special. So, have you seen any of your paperwork yet? Let me know about that. How much cash value do we help you try to expect in the first year? Even in the first month, there will be cash value. Do you remember how much cash value is going to be ready to go as soon as that policy is in force? That's the technical term. When it's active, ready to go, it's called in force. And you have an active policy. Do you remember how much cash value you can use? Second mom, then. You're going to be my second mom? Yes, that's what you mean. Oh, because my mom ain't watching all that stuff. My mom lives in San Antonio. You need to drive down there and tell my mom to subscribe. She ain't watching as much anymore, I don't think. She's got a policy now, finally. Mom's got a policy. My interview is tomorrow morning with insurance. Your interview, is it, you're saying it's a, you don't have an interview with insurance. Do you have a application call, or do you have, well, I know it's not active. You said you've got, or you've got a medical exam. Is that what you mean by interview? The application call, because you're going to tell them, you're going to have to answer all the health questions, or it's like your actual medical exam stuff. But now I know where you are. Yes, I mean, I know where you are in the process. Here's the process. I know where you are, but what do you mean by application? Cool. So you're just starting. Cool. You're going to, okay, you told Robert, I'd like to save for the rest of my life and compound and grow and keep $500 every single month, $6,000 a year. Those are the dollars that are going to stay with you. They're going to move on to the next round, death benefit. Your family, friends, church, or charity are going to get those dollars. Those dollars are going to grow for you, and they're going to be available as cash value. Got it. My first policy was $10,000. Look, I don't know if I made $10 million that year, only made 100,000, but I decided to keep and compound 10,000 per year. So it's still with me right now. It's still in cup one in my first policy growing. Year two, 10,000 went in. There's 20,000 now growing. 10,000 has been in there for 1 year. The other 10,000 just went in year three. I put 10,000. Now I have 30,000 growing. 10 has been in there for 2 years. 10's been in for 1 year, and 10 just went in. You understand how it works? And all of those dollars get guarantees on them. One of the guarantees is they don't go down or backward. You can't lose them. They're not in the market at all. You have insurance on them. They're guaranteed. Another is they bought that insurance. They get bigger because this has to pay out. God forbid you died tomorrow. I died today. This has to pay out. This is obviously a lot more than the money I gave them. Death benefit is bigger. Cash value is how much of that death benefit we've got equity or liquidity in, and we have borrowing power against our policy. So since that's such a big number, this is the number. Cash value reflects the number we can borrow without messing up the compounding growth and the guarantees. And the third thing I love about these, so it's guaranteed not to go down or backwards, guarantees to compound and buy a death benefit. And third, you don't have to pay them more money. Doesn't matter how old or ugly you get. You never have to give them more dollars to keep this thing going. 500 is all it'll take. And each year, as Sleepy Joe Biden sends more money to Ukraine, as you make more money in life, 500 is easier to come by every year. 500 is easier to come by. But they all keep compounding. Praise God. Let's go. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Thank you for joining. This is the perfect time, actually, for you to join. In the process of getting started, get some clarification. And in the beginning, our brains are so muddy with what's going on. A lot of people, I've realized, as we help lots of folks, they just don't know for sure. So they actually ask the same question. Then they'll go back to Robert and they'll ask the same question. And then they try to look at the book and the numbers and they'll ask the same questions because they don't believe it yet because you're new. So this is a perfect time to be asking those questions. So let's solidify it in your mind. Every dollar you give them is going to compound and grow and cash flow right here from Cup 2. I know I'm being quiet. It's not because I'm bored. I'm texting my wife here, but let me know. Anything else? Remember, each Thursday, we're going to start a new initiative. We've gotten kind of low over the holidays on our attendance on our Zoom, but our Zooms are the visual stuff. So we're going to get back on there and show you things. So I've got a great presentation. We just updated some of it. It's called Father Figures and how we're doing this as a family. I got kids. You can see pictures of my cute kids. You can look at the policies, and we'll get back to that maybe as soon as next week. But no, I think next week we're going to look at financing cars. We're going to look at buying your cars with your policy. I think that's what we're going to do, and paying off debt with your policy. I think that is what we are headed toward. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jay from the Cash Compound. What we're doing here is cash flow code cracking, and we help people understand the save and spend system. How to do infinite banking. Hopefully you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Looks like we're pretty thin on participation today, so it is very, very one-on-one. Let me know what your questions, concerns are. It looks like we might have another guest or two on the YouTube channel, and if you have something, shout out to me where you are. Where you are, then what your question might be. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. 9 years ago, I started practicing the infinite banking concept myself. 6 years ago, we decided to teach it to people here at the Cash Compound. So me and my brother, Jonah, he is the other banking bro. We're helping people do this process every day by setting up policies, by answering people's questions, by giving them coaching, even when it's secret coaching, because Mrs. Smith doesn't think it's coaching yet, but it's all free. We're helping. It's real. It works. and all that stuff. What up? Finally found someone my husband can understand and we both trust. Wonderful. Now, I know what you mean by we both trust. I know what you mean. Well, I'm going to guess what you mean. I'm going to guess because, to be honest, I don't know for sure. We've not met, I don't think. I don't think I've spoken at something you've been at, right? You've just seen us off the internet. Is that correct? Let me know. Have you just seen us socially, YouTube, and on the call with Rob and things like that? If you have not seen us in person and you say, someone that we understand, thank you, big compliment, because the 3-cup setup really helps people. It took us 4 to 6 years of doing this before we came up with this analogy and visual. Okay? We started putting it on social. I'm assuming that's where you saw us. But if you say we both trust and we've not met you in person, I know what that means. It means you're black. That's what it means. It means you're black. I know, hey, we got to stick together out here. Now, if you're white, because I can't tell, the avatar's too small. It seems like it might be a picture of you or your family. I can't tell. My eyes are not that good from the distance that I can see my YouTube comments that might be awkward for you. I don't know. Oh, it is a white person, yes? Ryan, is it a Caucasian person? You're going to say so. Okay, cool. All right, very good. They made it bigger for me. We get that so often, though. It's like, hey, you know, I got somebody that I can trust. And I was like, well, hey, what you can trust, maybe we relate to you well. And I love that. But what's really trustable when it comes down to it is the contracts that we can get from the insurance company. Because the contract says all this. It's contract paperwork. We can see guarantees. We can see the numbers growing. And that's what you should just, I mean, I'm going to die sooner or later and I'll be gone, but your contract is still going to be good. So that's the awesome part, right? And if you like us, that makes it even better. That's just icing on the cake. But the cake is having a guaranteed private banking contract that you can use, and you have contractual access to that money. All these crazy words I never would have said 10 years ago because I had no idea what was going on. We've never met. Well, it's coming soon. Are you a part of the real estate investor community called the Fort Worth RIA? I don't know what it's called, but I'm speaking there in March 14th, maybe. I am the featured speaker in Fort Worth at the residence. I don't know. I think it's called if you're looking for it online, it's the one. Jimmy Reed is the organizer of that group. Look it up. And if you can't figure it out, you message me. And if you can get there, I'm not sure how far, of course, it's going to be from which part of town you're in, right? Because if you're sitting over there in Plano or something, you're not really in Dallas, then it may be too far for you. But I'd love to have you there as my guest. If you can't figure it out, you tell me, we'll get you in. I'll slit a few throats, and I'd love to meet you in person and answer questions or get a testimony of how things are working for you once we get you started here shortly. And then I meet you in 63 days, 64 or 5 days. Glad you have watched so much of our stuff as well. So you might, if you trust me after watching all that stuff, that means you like my humor. You like the way I mess with my brother on some of those podcast episodes. You like the way I get at people when they ask me the same questions over and over. Okay. Well, hey, Mrs. Smith, great to meet you. Thank you for your questions. Hopefully that's helpful. I think we're going to shut things down here. I got to prepare for another meeting. So I didn't want to go too into it and get going because I got another meeting and you can't see my visuals out there. Thank you so much for following. Subscribe. Let us know if you can Google the Jimmy Reed Fort Worth Real Estate Investors event. Jimmy Reed, because if you can come, I'd love for you to be my guest, and we'll take care of making sure that you are in there with minimal charges or bumps and hurdle, however it works down there. But I am the featured speaker, and hopefully that's close enough to you. If that sounds great, oh, let's go. Where are you trying to retire to? Everyone is trying to retire to like one of 3 places. Charleston is probably not the place, even though it's a great city. Greenville, upstate community, Anderson, is a great place to retire, or near the lakes where Clemson is. Is that where it is? Or is it, where else would you retire? I'm trying to think. You might be trying to retire in like one of those other coastal beach communities, but I'm going with Anderson. I'm going with, you're trying to retire on the lake or near Anderson. And we can't wait for you to be here and come to our events in person. We got so many. I'm going to go. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to let us know. I know you said your boss may have walked in, so you're working hard right now, but you're trying to get up out of there. You got to retire. I love it. So I'm going to roll out in just 1 second. Thank you for being here. Hit us up in the DMs or put it in the chat after this, and we'll see where you're trying to retire to. Let's get some property going together. Let's do some real estate together when you get here, and let's buy all the houses in your new retirement community. Peace, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week, Thursday.